speaker, Evan Jacob Lipson. Mr. Lipson was selected by all the graduating students for this honor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. May, Dean Davis, Dean Smith, members of the faculty, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen in my class, the class of 2005. The folks at Mount Sinai asked me to speak this morning after taking the advice of cartoonist Gary Trudeau, who said that the idea behind graduation speeches is that a class should never be let out into the real world without first being properly sedated. So I'd like to take this opportunity to talk to the friends and family members here this morning to give you a quick glimpse into what we've been doing here for the last 4 years. For starters, we've done a lot of reading. And with that in mind, I'd like to tell you a little story. As a kid, I'd often ask my father about the meaning of a word. Dad, I'd say, what does this word mean? And invariably, he would say, Evan, look it up. No, Dad, just tell me the meaning of the word you know. No, Evan, look it up. But this was, I would learn, a rehearsal for things to come. Because every student in this room has had an experience where you ask a professor a seemingly simple question, and the response is, well, Evan, why don't you go home tonight and look it up and tell us all about it tomorrow? And we think, no, I have so much else to do. Please don't make it. But do we say that? No, we say, thank you, dear professor. Thank you for allowing me to satisfy my curiosity and broaden my horizons. So, Dad, maybe you knew way back then that I would need those skills. Thanks to some mental calisthenics and the training, came in handy. To all the parents who made us look it up, thank you. Another activity we've been involved in these past several years is answering your medical questions. In fact, the moment we announced we were thinking about applying to medical school, we were inundated with questions from friends and family about various ailments. No question too complex, no medical subject too obscure. As soon as we got that A- in first semester chemistry, you thought we had all the answers. Some of my favorites include, does cracking your knuckles give you arthritis? What is this thing on my leg? And it hurts when I do this. After 4 years of study, here are the answers. No, I don't know, and don't do that. But in all seriousness, the last 4 years have been, for many of us, the most grueling, the most purposeful, and perhaps the most exciting of our lives. We came together as a class that first day back in August of 2001 and spent the next 4 years studying, examining, and generally getting to know the human body. What makes it work, what makes it sick, how to fix it, and how to comfort the person inhabiting it. We had our first opportunity to examine the inside of a person in first semester gross anatomy. It wasn't like the movies, nobody got sick, nobody passed out. But we all remember what our cadavers look like. We have been privileged to discuss issues and touch patients in ways nobody else can. We have all at some point been awake for 30 hours at a stretch, trying to put our exhaustion aside and be sympathetic to our patients. It feels much like that. Most of us have put ourselves tens of thousands of dollars into debt. We have each delivered a baby. We have each had a patient die. Each of us has made mistakes, most of us more than once. We have all looked at our own notes and wondered, who wrote this? Each of us has had to say no to a friend who wanted to go out on a night that we were on call. Some of us have suffered from the common medical student ailment that I will call every disease I learned about I think I had. Some of us have spent hours in the lab researching the very basic elements of how the human body works. The genetic counselors among us have helped anxious couples navigate the risks of having children. Some of us have traveled to far-away places to provide health care to people who had no possible way to repay us. Every one of us has been struck by how grateful the patient was for something we did. We have worked with doctors more senior than ourselves, some who inspired us, some who intimidated us, some who never let us go home, and some who reminded us what being a doctor is all about. We've berated ourselves for not having the right answer at the right time. We've amazed ourselves by how much we've learned. And we have all been asked on numerous occasions, why do you want to be a doctor? The best answer I ever heard was during a conversation with the well-known pediatrician, Dr. T. Barry Brazelton. I asked him why he went into medicine, and he replied, you go into medicine because you can't stand not to. He's right, and that makes it all worthwhile. To wrap up, I'd like to thank the dedicated people at Mount Sinai, the administration, the professors, the alumni for your outstanding teaching, support, and guidance. As a token of our gratitude, our graduating class, for the first time in the history of the school, has committed to giving a class gift to the Mount Sinai alumni to help ensure that they can continue to do for future classes what they have done for us, and that is a lot. On behalf of my classmates, I'd like to thank our parents, our families, and our friends for your love and encouragement. Med school is not something you do by yourself. On a personal note, I'd also like to thank my wife, Jennifer, without whom these last 4 years would have gone from difficult to impossible. And lastly, I'd like to thank my fellow classmates. I am privileged to know each one of you. Whatever path you have chosen, emergency medicine on the West Coast, neurosurgery across town, family practice in Chicago, I wish us all happiness, fulfillment, and Godspeed. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the class of 2005.